Hey guys, welcome back to another video from Quick Freeze's Game Room. Today I'm going to be doing a review on a very cool classic video game that's very dear to my heart and very nostalgic to me. And that is Top Gear 3000 for the Super Nintendo. Now, I say it's very dear, I say it's very nostalgic to me because I used to spend weekends renting this game. I used to spend weeks playing this game. I even, refused to return it to the rental store, paying extra late fees just so I can keep this game. I remember one summer, me and my friends just rented this all the time, over and over again. We spent a whole summer playing this game. So this game is very nostalgic to me. It's one of my favorite racing games of all time. Now, before I get into the review, a very quick synopsis. It's just a very cool classic arcade racing style game where it's set into the future, but I don't want to get that much into it right now, so let's just jump into the review, and I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, enjoy. Top Gear 3000 is a sequel to the 1993 Super Nintendo game Top Gear 2. It's an arcade-style racing game developed by Gremlin Graphics and published by Kemco in April of 1995. Now, not many racing games have an in-depth story. You just kind of jump in, you race, you have some fun, and that's pretty much it. But Top Gear 3000, the story is very similar to previous games in the series, but this time, the game is set in the year 2962. The galactic conglomerate of unified planets controlling the Bureau of Reasonable Entertainment has maintained an era of peaceful coexistence. But with peace comes with great sacrifice, and that sacrifice is fun, until a number of thrill seekers who have way too much money on their hands and not enough entertainment in their life to keep them occupied comes along. Their only cure for the boredom is a galaxy-wide racing Grand Prix containing over 47 tracks on different alien worlds known as the Top Gear 3000 Challenge. Combining high-tech sci-fi gadgetry of the 30th century with the white-knuckle raw action of the 20th century automobiles, where the winner can win riches beyond their wildest dreams. Wow. That is what I call a very good story for a racing game, especially one set in the future. The only other game that I could possibly think of that even comes close to that is the Star Wars pod racing game that was on the N64 and the PlayStation 2. Now, the game actually features two different modes. The first being a championship mode where one or two players can race in a campaign across different alien worlds. The second mode is a versus mode where players actually race against each other. Let's cover the championship mode first. Players will start off with individual cars. The players can then change the color of their car, input their name, adjust the speed units, and also adjust the button layouts that they'll use throughout the game. Each race contains 20 cars, where 18 or 19 of those cars are actually controlled by the computer AI. Cars themselves are limited by the range of their fuel and the condition of their body armor. Players must refuel by driving over red recharge strips or repair their car's body armor by driving over the blue repair strips. These strips I just mentioned are actually quite generous. They actually fill up your armor and your fuel quite a bit, but some races have less than minimum recharge strips, forcing the player to either run out of gas or take a lot of damage. Now, being that futuristic cars, these cars can actually gain great speed without gas, making it possible to finish the race without recharging at all. But if players hit a tree or another obstacle in the game, the car will actually lose speed and will run to a very low speed at 20 miles an hour. The only way to gain more speed in the game is by running over the red strips, as I already mentioned, being hit by a faster car, using your boost of a level 4 or higher, or using a weapon called the attractor on another car. Now you can actually do this, and I don't really recommend it, but you can actually park your car on the red or blue strips, refilling your fuel or repairing your body armor. The only downside with this is you're actually letting your opponent AI catch up with you, but if you can get away with it, go for it. After each race, the player is rewarded with different amounts of credits based on where they placed in the rankings of that race, such as first, second, or third. These credits can be used to buy upgrades for their car, such as different engines, gearboxes, tires, armor, and boosts. The computer drivers cannot buy any upgrades, but will grow faster throughout the campaign. Bonuses are sometimes placed on the track as circular icons, usually obtained by going off some sort of jump. But the biggest bonus are rewarded after each race for doing or not doing certain feats during the race itself. These bonuses consist of finishing the race with an active boost for an extra 30,000 credits, not colliding with another car during the race for an extra 70,000 credits, not colliding with any obstacles on the track for an extra 40,000 credits, and not driving off-road for an extra 20,000 credits. There are weapons in the game, but they don't really affect any other racers. They only affect yourself. The player can cycle through these weapons by using the L or R trigger buttons. These weapons consist of a jump that can be used to get bonuses, jump over other cars, or even obstacles. It's the only weapon that really has no limit of the number of uses. The warp weapon actually makes the car disappear for a few seconds traveling through the track, doing any turns correctly along the way, and then reappearing. While the car is invisible, it is immune to any other car or obstacle and still collect any bonuses along the way. The warp weapon is limited to 4 uses only. The attractor weapon, as I already mentioned, actually places a target on the screen. When there is another car inside, the target will follow that car on screen. If the player begins to use the attractor weapon, this vehicle gains the speed of the targeted car. The attractor weapon can only be used consistently for about 10 seconds. The boost weapon is the only weapon in the game that the player actually starts with, and is the only weapon that can be upgraded. The boost weapon increases the car's speed for a limited time, and the weapon is limited to 4 uses, but extra boosts can be found during the race itself. Now for the versus mode. The versus mode is actually just like the championship mode, but it actually lets 4 players play together with an addition of a multi-tap. The screen is split up 4 different ways, even if there's less than 4 players. Each race is its own standalone affair on a single track, with players choosing from 4 different speed, acceleration, and boost combinations before each race. Just like other games in the Super Nintendo era, Top Gear 3000 actually has a password system that will allow the player to continue the game after switching off the console. It will restore all purchase upgrades and championship status. The password system can also be used to enter cheats. My personal favorite is a very common one, where if you enter all B's in every slot, it'll give the player 1,000,000 credits. Now, as I already mentioned, I spent summers renting this game over and over with my friends. It's fast, it's fun, and it's addicting to the point where you actually care what upgrades you give your car. If I had to give Top Gear 3000 for the Super Nintendo a ranking, I would definitely have to give it 4 engines out of 5. So that is my review of Top Gear 3000 for the Super Nintendo. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I think I'll just end this video by saying I'm Quick Freeze from Quick Freeze's Game Room, and I'm here to bring gamers together one game at a time. See you guys.